All right, it's Ski Mask Collective. Like I said, it's constant content constantly being released. We can't run out of guests. Like I said, news breaks. We're releasing a show. Now, I know you guys saw the Brian McCarthy interview. He had a lot to say, and a lot of people responded with what I thought they would respond with, lies. That's all Brian had was lies. Now, they said they couldn't get through the part of the interview. Now, a guy hit me up earlier today. He said, wow, he did say a few nice things about Kevin, but really the roast had to do a lot with Chad. Chad reached out to me earlier today and said, hey, I got a few things I'd like to say. Chad, how would you like to start this? You want to address Brian McCarthy himself?
Okay, let's put this in perspective. Kevin Brennan told me to come on the show.
Okay.
He legitimately texted me, goes, go on Ski Mask's show and speak on my behalf and everyone on Misery Loves Company's behalf. That's what I'm doing.
Right. Is it because Kevin didn't want to come on and address it himself, or he thought it may have been a better angle if you do it?
Who knows? It's content. I know that.
Right. Okay. All right. So, yeah, I know Brian had a few things to say about you last night. One part of it was he said, you're a hack. And I remember at that moment, I was like, I wish I had Chad in this waiting room in this interview right now. But that didn't happen, so we got you here now.
Well, I got to be honest with you. I fast forward a lot of the interview because he just rambled.
Yeah, absolutely.
Bullshit. It's nonsense. I've heard enough from Brian McCarthy throughout the years, so I don't need anything else. Brian, he's crazy. He needs help. Everything he's saying is a lie. It's just a lie. Right. And I really do believe he believes it in his mind, but I'm watching half of this. I'm like, where? How do you make that logic? And I texted Kevin. I go, Kevin, like, what is this? He's like, he's a liar. I know. It's like, so whatever he was saying yesterday for an hour and a half, it was a lie. It was completely
right. Right, yeah. And it's different being in this seat as interviewing him, because I know a lot of the fans wanted to hear his side of the story because he had never really came out and talked about it. So at the time, I really didn't realize it. Now, I was listening back today at my day job, and I was like, oh, boy. And that part where he talks about you called him and said, I love you. And then the part that I didn't hear last night is when he's like, oh, no, I don't love you, Chad. And I'm thinking to myself, okay, I've listened to enough of Brian's content. That's something he would never say over the phone. Like, if you were to say, hey, I love you, Brian, he would be like, I love you too. You know, just the type of character he is. So I know that's got to be a flat out lie.
For all you Brian McCarthy lovers who love burning bridges, they love the whole show, they loved all that, he deleted his Twitter account after he told you specifically, I don't block people, I don't mute people. He deleted, dude, he's a liar. He's completely full of shit. So whatever you liked about Brian that Kevin enhanced, it's all false. It's bullshit. I knew that from the beginning when Kevin hired him. I knew that guy was a fraud. He was a nobody, and Kevin gave him a handout for 2 years.
Right. And I know last night, every time I would ask a question, I caught some shit actually on Twitter earlier for not even hitting him hard enough. But he would start off answering the question, and then it would quickly turn to, okay, about this project he has going on, or his Patreon, or the fact that he's still doing Facebook Lives. And I wanted to get straight to the fan questions that I knew that, you know, because you could tell from listening to somebody in the air that long what the fuck they're lying about. Like, come on.
My friend who's a cop, he says anyone that lies, they exaggerate stories, they expand them, and they put in many details that don't need to exist. Right. At one point, he was talking about what Kevin was eating and what he was drinking.
Yeah, I heard that today. I was like, why did he have to put in what Kevin would eat, and then go on to explain what he was eating? It's like, nobody gives a fuck. We know. You know, let's just get to the meat of the story. That's what you're here for, right?
Well, that's why he's lying. He exaggerates that, and he tries to camouflage it with those stories. Like, you'll get lost in his fucking nonsense.
Right.
He needs help. He's a mental patient.
Yeah, I mean, that's what's kind of scary. I was talking to him last night. He came off kind of, I don't care about the Twitter clout. And you could tell from reading his timeline, it turned from him trying to be funny to, okay, now he's just kind of being an asshole, and now it's just not funny. He's just responded to every single tweet. Like you said the other day, he responded to 111 tweets in one day.
No, you're the one who told me that.
Right. Somebody had actually counted that and sent it to me. I thought it was you for some reason. And I was like, damn. So I called him out about that. And he's like, oh, the trolls don't bother me. I have fun with it. And it's like, it doesn't really sound like you're having a lot of fun. There's no jokes.
And let's put this honestly. Kevin Brennan told me to do this. That's the only reason I'm here. I'm very loyal to people that are been very good to me. I know trolls get on me because of Kevin. We bust balls on the show.
Right.
But off the mic, Kevin's been nothing but great to me. He's been awesome. That's why I'm still around. Trust me, my relationship with Kevin Brennan doesn't serve me well. Like, his brother Neil doesn't love me. There's a lot of people in Hollywood don't love me because I'm friends with him. But I'm loyal. I'll always be loyal. Kevin's a good dude, and he's a great comic, so I'll never forget that. But going back to Brian, he's just a delusional idiot who saw an opportunity. I've seen a million of these people in Hollywood like Brian. They're just opportunists. They'll do anything. They memorize people's names. They try to move forward. He's a bullshitter. He's a complete bullshitter. There's nothing behind him. And I actually listened to the Dos Equis thing that you asked him about.
Yeah.
It's a lie. It's all a lie.
Yeah.
He probably told his friend like 2 Dos Equis things, and now he's a writer.
Or either that, or he happened to be in the same room as somebody who would come up with the idea, knowing that person was going to be behind the scenes forever. So why didn't he just coin the idea? And it's an easy sell on a show like Burning Bridges, like, especially talking about some of the trolls that are out there. But when I asked a few of the guys, like, hey, what would you want me to ask Brian? That was like one of the top things, because I remember it's what stood out about him when he joined that show. And one of the first bullshit moments he ever had, then we were like, oh shit, where's this going to go from here?
He used Eddie If to get on that show. I know I've known Eddie for 15 years.
Yeah.
Eddie's a nice guy, but Eddie also likes when you compliment him. So Brian probably kissed his ass, and he was a friend of that show, Talking Bullshit, or whatever the bullshit show was, Talking Shit with him and Jim Jeffries. And he parlayed that. He's a user. He's an opportunist that moves his head. He's not a comic. He's nobody. He's a nothing.
Right. That's why I brought up the fact, like, and he kept denying it, but it makes so much sense to me that, once Kevin gave him the opportunity to go on Chip Chipperson, and the next thing you know, he's having dinner with Cumia, and then he defied that question last night. Oh, I was having dinner with Cumia in 01. It's like, dude, come on, relax. And so it kind of felt to me like, okay, he's kind of getting these new opportunities, so he's going to betray Kevin because he's like, oh, I'll get my own show kind of thing, which is different for you. You refused to go on that show when Kevin probably asked you not to, or if you had an offer, because you're loyal to Kevin Brennan, right?
Dude, I have emails. I went back and recently saw them. Bill Schultz was begging me to come on a show.
Right.
True story. Begging me to come on a show because during that time, that was the whole, like, don't go on Bill's show because he's trying to take away my Patreon. I saw it, and I was like, I'm not going to do it. Yeah. Kevin's been cool to me. Granted, we don't have the best relationship in the sense of, like, he's great to me, but at the end of the day, when these mics are off, the cameras are off, he's been very good to me and very sweet, and I'm loyal to that, and I won't forget it.
Yeah.
But Bill is a piece of shit who was trying to parlay this and make it bigger for himself. Mm-hmm. Bill's been off Red Eye for like, what, 8 years or 3 years?
A long time. And this has been, his only gig since? And even then, it doesn't get a lot of views.
Right. And I've been in radio for a long time, so I know divide and conquer. That's what he was doing. So I knew what he was trying to do. But I'm not stupid, so I just said, fuck you. Where Brian McCarthy was like, yeah, I need the attention. I'm half of this success. And,
right.
Yeah.
And that's what came off weird. But he's like, he said the other day, oh, I would have never done that show if it wasn't for the money. Then I called him out about it last night. It's like, okay, story changes now. Right. Okay. Half of the success.
He begged to get on Kevin's show through Eddie Ift. He did. And he did the show for like 4 or 5 months without getting paid. And Kevin's a generous guy. He felt guilty and gave him 40% of his Patreon, which is insane.
That's what I was thinking. I didn't think that was a real number that Brian said last night, but I wasn't going to say anything. But that is insane as far as being, professional comic, owning the show, and then bringing this guy in. You would never think that he should get paid that much. So obviously Kevin was being generous. And
that pisses me off because I wanted to help Kevin's show. I even sent him an email once. I go, let me get some big-time guests on there. I have a radio background. I have a good knowledge. People love me. Yeah. My old radio, I know you made fun of me on the Misery Loves Company, but I had Shaquille O'Neal come into the studio. Kyrie Irving. Right. I had huge names like Gene Hackman, who doesn't do – I was like, Kevin, I can get these people on your show, but he, for some reason, Kevin, like, wanted Brian. I was like – so that always bothered me. I'm like, Brian's a nobody. He's a stiff. He's an LA douchebag I've met a million times. I got big plans. I know this guy. Yeah. Brian doesn't know anyone. By the way, Brian deleted his Twitter. He's gone.
He's gone.
Brian Lovers, he's a loser. He's nobody. Go back and watch Burning Bridges. Go back and watch Burning Bridges right now. I guarantee you won't laugh. It's all hack bullshit. He got handed something, and he's a no talent. There's nothing behind it. Go ahead, Ski.
You're good. I love the rants and all those stories that he would tell on Burning Bridges. That, you know, when the show ended, people started calling him out on his bullshit, and he
Lies.
He set himself up for the lies. He caught him in every which way. And so now it's getting to the point where somebody calls out maybe his TV won't be 85 inches, so he's got to go find a receipt. I'm like, Brian, what the fuck are you doing? You're looking foolish. So I think and it's for some reason, like you say, he may need help. He thought that coming on my show was going to help him. I gave him every opportunity to tell the story. He didn't have to set him up. But like Kevin said, I just handed out the rope. And so the fans watched it today and completely attacked Brian. I don't know if that's why he deleted his Twitter. I don't know what's going on with that, but he is gone. Twitter account since 2009 is gone.
He hung himself.
That's it. It's done. I mean, there's no relevance left. The fans have turned on him at this point. Is what's going to happen next? Yeah.
Ask me a question, just one question. I'll do a Brian McCarthy impression.
All right. Where is your favorite place to perform?
Ooh, good question. You know, it's funny because I was eating a crepe and a bottle of champagne. I was at the corner of West 117th and Lakewood, and a friend of mine, Steve, came up and he goes, "Hey, listen, do you want to perform tonight?" And I'm like, "Oh, well, that's great. I'm not much of a performer. I've wrote the Secchi's ads. I've done things." But, yeah, I'd like to do that. And then Steve's like, "Well, there's a place called the Brothers Lounge. It's right over there. It's 116 feet away. So you should perform there." I'm like, "Well, that sounds good." So I went over to the Brothers Lounge, and I went over there. And it's funny because I met the bartender. Her name was Angela. We had a Chardonnay. We sat there. We drank a Chardonnay. And then and from there, she's like, "What time are you going on stage?" She said 8 p.m. And then 8 p.m. came, and I went off there 4 comics. I went up, and I killed. After Joe DeRosa.
Yeah. Oh, wow.
And then from there, the owner of the Brothers Lounge says, "Listen, I want to be a partner with you. Let's own the business together. Let's build this thing. Let's book cruise ships. Let's go from there." And that's my Brian. That's all he covers. He's Roger Clemens in Congress.
But I mean,
Roger Clemens. Go watch Roger Clemens in Congress right now.
I saw this tweet the other day. I was laughing my ass off.
Yeah. He's a complete piece of shit.
It's out of control at this point. And like you say, I think maybe the lying has gone on for so long that he looked at coming on my show as more of like, okay, I'm just doing another appearance, but knowing that, okay, it's finally time to answer the questions. But he's trying to stay relevant by saying, "Oh, you know, I was having dinner with Cumia in 2001, Opie and Anthony. I was in that studio. I was at Patrice's roast. You know, I was at Patrice's."
Did he say he was at Patrice's roast?
Yeah, he said he was at one point. That's why I copied that on Twitter earlier when you said I think somebody did that. He was talking about where he was years ago. Yeah, last night he was like, "Yeah, I was at Patrice's roast. There's video evidence of me being at Patrice's roast. You know, I was an invitee." And
here's the bottom line: Brian McCarthy was a diehard O&A fan.
Absolutely.
Bottom line.
Yeah,
and more than anything to get in that camp, anything, and that's why he became friends with Kevin. He knew Eddie If because Eddie If is like Eddie If. I know Eddie If. I've known him for 15 years. Eddie If loved to be loved, and he was probably kissing Eddie If's ass. He got into his circle, and then asked Eddie for that one favor to reach out to Kevin, and that's how he got in. And Kevin's a nice guy. Brought him in. This guy has nothing to do. He shows up. He got tired of asking comics to show up to his show. This guy always shows up, and that's how it became. That's his big in. That's it.
All right, so I got to get down to one thing because I don't want to get called out on Twitter. Last night I called you out on something that I don't know is true because you kind of have to set up the date for me in the timeline, okay? So, of course, you know the classic story, the one everyone's heard a fucking 1,000 times, right? You didn't know what a crepe was. Is that correct? Okay. A long time ago, one of the first times I ever saw you, Florentine was one of the first comics I ever watched. I became a fan of Florentine, right?
Cool.
So I was watching his stuff on YouTube. Actually, I heard him on Stern. That's how I learned about him. And I went to his YouTube, and I came across the Dumb Waiter, right? Did you or did you not have an episode called Crepes, where you were at the table and you ordered crepes, and Jim Florentine walked up as the dumb waiter to make fun of you for ordering crepes?
Complete lie.
I swear I saw that video.
No.
Crepes. Dumbwaiter. I'm gonna try to find it right now.
And if it is, like, I don't
You wouldn't remember.
remember.
Yeah, I mean, it was so long ago, and probably if you're doing sketch comedy, it's like, okay, whatever. You know, it's hilarious that you would order a crepe. That was the whole point of the video.
And I'm reflecting on that.
You know what I mean? It was, you guys also had the one about the pumpkin patch and stuff.
I remember that because that was in his act.
Right.
I mean,
I'm gonna look it up right now, see if I can find it.
if it is, I don't remember. I don't.
Right. So that's why, because also I know that every time somebody pull up that dumb story on Twitter, I would always try to call in and bring up the Dumbwaiter, the video, but I never got on the air. Let's see here.
That was a long time ago. Please pull it up. I don't remember.
I'll try to find it here. It wasn't Dumbwaiter. It was something else.
It was called Disgruntled Waiter.
Disgruntled Waiter. That's right. It's been forever since I've watched those videos.
I remember pumpkins.
Yeah, the pumpkin one was good.
I remember that one because
my favorite one was the beer, where you guys are ordering all the different crazy craft beers, and then he comes up with a fruit. He's like, "There's your lemon, there's your orange, there's your craft beer. There you go."
and the girl in the thing was my friend Haley. That's why I know that. So I remember asking her to do that. We were at the Hairy Buffalo in Cleveland.
Crepes. I don't even know how to spell crepes. Pumpkin Sunday Fun Day. Oh, was it on Sunday Fun Day when you ordered the crepes? Maybe it wasn't titled crepes. Maybe you ordered crepes.
That's probably what it was.
Or you know what it could have been? It could have been the Stuck Up Girls episode, the one you weren't on, but I'd always associated you with being on that series. If I'm wrong, I apologize, Chad. I apologize.
No, with all due respect, regardless, like I don't remember that, and I don't like you could be right, but the first time I ever had crepes was with Brian McCarthy.
Right. Were they good? Were they actually good?
They weren't bad, and they're fine. We were just killing time before the show.
Right. You feel a little light, like walking away. Did you kind of?
Well, I had a problem with Brian ordering my food.
Yeah, that would bother me too. So, did you order $175 worth of food, or is this a different occasion?
100%. I stayed at his place, and I think I when I was listening to your last episode, I fast forward a lot of it, so I don't know details. But I stayed at his place. I could always stay at Jim's place for free and have fun.
Right, of course, yeah.
I could stay at my place, Justin Silver, Ray DeVito. I stayed at Brian's because I thought it'd be funny for the show. I knew that would create something, and sure enough, it did.
Didn't something else happen? Didn't he show you his piece, or like walk in naked or something?
He walked in with his shirt and his underwear, and he was trying to like pull up my sheet, like he was trying to like.
Yeah, there's no cameras rolling.
Nothing.
Why would he do that?
Exactly, and it creeped me out. It bothered me.
Yeah.
But at one point, I was just like, I'm gonna go get a sandwich. And he's like, can I come with you? I'm like, yeah, fine. He was with his wife. Mm-hmm. And he goes, as we're walking, he goes, I know a place we can go. We went to an Italian restaurant. He ends up buying a bottle of wine, Italian food. And it's like, the check comes back. I didn't drink the wine. He did.
Right.
It was $175. He wanted me to split it. I'm like, fuck this guy. This guy's like, what the fuck? I just wanted a sandwich.
Right.
A sandwich.
I think when I asked him about that last night, he said, "Oh, Chad couldn't split a check. I always pay for the checks." That was his excuse. Then quickly went to the next
lie.
Next yeah, I got some hate back from a few guys that really wanted me to tear into him, but I just wanted to give him a platform to finally tell his side of the story because I thought, and Kevin was right about that it would quickly turn against him when people started researching, posting the timelines where you can click on the link and go straight to a lie.
So did Kevin say just let him talk?
That's what he told me. Yeah.
Exactly, because he's full of shit.
Because I messaged Kevin first off to ask his permission if I could have Brian on the show because I just done MLC the day before. I'm not about to burn that fucking bridge yet. Okay. And then he was like, yeah, I don't give a shit. And I was like, all right, what should I do? Should I put some funny backdrops in the background? Like, cause you won't be able to see them. And he was like, no, just let him talk, hand him the rope. And I'm like, all right, yeah, I got that. Let me make it easier.
Well, here's the difference this is what bothers me about Brian. When Kevin busts my balls or Jim Florentine, I respect them. They put the work in. Go look at the resume.
Absolutely.
They're badasses.
Yeah.
Brian McCarthy's never done anything. He's a nobody. So when he calls me a hack or a nobody, I'm like, I've done more than you. You're a nothing. Right. You got handed an opportunity of a lifetime that everybody would love to have, but you're a nobody. You've done nothing. Everything you've done is a lie. I've met a million of you in LA. Yeah. That guy, I know that guy. We all know that guy. He's a bullshitter. He memorizes names and he's an opportunist that makes his way to opportunity.
Yeah,
That's what he did with Kevin.
Yeah, wait, I was trying to explain to Kevin on MLC, and that's the way it seems. It's like as soon as you give a guy like that an opportunity to do something big, he's going to blow it every time, because the whole time leading up to that, he's lied so much throughout his life that at this point he thinks he's so big. So when he did that MC at Comedians of the Compound, he got hammered and just made a fool of himself. So I think deep down inside, there's a reason Mr. Cumia doesn't like Brian McCarthy. He never had him on the show. Okay, he made one appearance. He walked in with, whenever he had the fake fight with Gino, and you could tell Cumia was bothered by that. There was just way too much going on in the studio. It's like, yeah.
I'm a regular on Cumia's show. I'm a regular on Bennington. I've done millions of radio shows and podcasts. I've been around the country. Brian's done nothing except Kevin's podcast, and he used Kevin to get into Jim Norton's house, to do his show, Jim and Sam and Chip 2%, and he's bombed every time.
And he blew it.
Nobody.
He blew every shot at that. Kevin told him what to do on the first time he did Chip, and he completely ignored his request and blew it. Every time he'd open his mouth, they were just like crickets. And I remember calling into Burning Bridges the next day and roasting him about that, and he got really angry. Matter of fact, I hope I can cut that clip. I don't know.
You diehard hacks, you followers, listen, the Burning Bridges shows was great, and he's such a train wreck that it worked out really well, but it got tired towards the end, but go back and watch it. He's not that funny, dude. You just got used to him. You legitimately got used to him for being there. He was just there every single day, and you got used to it.
You know how I know that's true? Because when I first switched from MLC, because I was listening to Cumia. I already had a Cumia subscription already, and that's when I started going into the other shows to think it'd be funny to call, and I learned that Kevin had a show on there. I remember listening to it before, and Brian was on there, and it would annoy me at first, like the first few episodes. But like you said, I got used to it. I was like, okay, here comes a pun, and that's it. And then, Kevin would come on with his rants. I think that Kevin kind of had him on that show too, because it was easy to, not as Kevin, but like to rant on somebody and get feedback from a person like Brian, who's gonna not necessarily be a kiss ass, but kind of egg Kevin on for what Kevin does on the show. You know what I mean? It makes sense.
What's your favorite Christmas show when a caller calls in? It's like the same bullshit.
Yeah. Well, favorite holiday memory. Like,
that's what it was.
Yeah, I was like, oh, I think that's what he said when I called in. He was like, favorite holiday or favorite Halloween memory, because it was around that time. I was like, Brian, what the fuck were you doing on Chip last night? And then his face just turned red. He knew he was about to get a handful.
All of this to blame is Eddie Ift. All of it. I haven't started all of this.
He doesn't make a lot. Does he make appearances anymore? He hasn't done, any of the regular rounds in a while. I haven't heard from Eddie Ift.
I haven't talked to him in a year since I headlined the Stress Factory, and he got mad. And listen, I love his family. He has a beautiful wife and kids, and I don't want anything bad to happen to Eddie Ift, because he at the end, I saw his heart. He's a good dude, but at the end of the day, he delivered Brian McCarthy to Kevin, and I have to deal with this now. Right. I have to be on your show because of Eddie Ift.
Hey, you're having a great time. Now, I'll address one more thing. So some of the fans thought it would be funny because, I talked to a few of the guys just to get some points, and what they wanted me to fucking plug in Tom Cassidy at the end of this call. Anyways,
say whatever you want. I don't give.
No, I don't have him. I wish I did. I couldn't get it done though.
Let's go to the waiting room.
He wasn't interested. But so what's going on with that? Are you going to do the roast battle, or do you even give a shit? Like, does it even fucking matter at this point? Like, are you tired of hearing it? Or
with all due respect to Tom, like, I think we both want to do something on stage. I don't know what's going to ever happen, but
right.
It is what it was. Like, people bust my balls about that roast, but I just wasn't prepared, and I don't care. It was $100, and it was in November. It was just another gig. I do gigs all the time. That was just another gig, and it just happened to be some big thing. And Tom, he doubled down on it, and that's what it was. And no, I mean, I don't hate Tom. I just saw an opportunity. Like, that was his big moment.
Right.
That was Tom Cassidy's big moment in comedy.
He gained tons of followers after that happened. So
yeah. So congratulations. I helped you, Tom.
Right. You're always like kind of there in the background, huh? All right. I'm going to get down to a personal question. I want to ask, is there any chance that I or you could help me out? What does the Ski Mask host here have to do to get Mr. Jim Florentine on this show? Come on, man. You got to help a brother out. You got to get Mr. Florentine. You got to give me 5 minutes. I don't care. Come on.
I've been getting Jim Florentine, like, let me hit him up questions for, like, years. Like,
Oh,
for 10
really?
years.
Shit, now I feel like a fucking asshole.
I can't speak on behalf of Jim. Like, my relationship with him, he's a big brother, and I care
Right,
about him.
right,
And,
yeah.
it's one of those things. If it happens, it happens.
Yeah, I'll make it happen. I appreciate you giving me the shout out. You know, he thought it
But
was
Jim's
cool.
the nicest guy in the world. If you ever approached him,
Right,
you probably
but
do
yeah,
it.
yeah. Well, I met him at Hyenas in Dallas, actually, last time he was down here.
You would have done it if you asked him.
Oh, well, I didn't have a show. I just launched a show 3 weeks ago.
If you would have asked him, he would have done it. That's how cool he is.
Well, cool. Next time he does some show, because I actually have a pop-up table now where I do pop-up shows.
Yeah.
And because I got everything where I can run it through a phone charger from the back of my truck. I got like an outlet in there, so I'm gonna like post up at the beach and do crazy tour this summer.
No, Florentine's a great guy, and he'll do whatever if you ask him. He's a good dude. And my thing is, like, my relationship with him is, like, I never ask him for anything. I'm just –
Yeah, well, that's what people can call you a hack, a liar, all that stuff all they want. But I was a Jim Florentine fan before anybody, Kumi, any of that.
Me
and
too.
He's always had you, like, by his side. He's always said, you're a good comic. He's always talked good about you. He's included you and stuff. And it's one of those things. It's like no one from Jim Florentine, he's a genuine dude. You know, it's like, okay,
Yeah.
if Chad was a real piece of shit, would Jim Florentine be bragging about him like that? Not to say anything like that, but that's just the type of guy that Jim comes off as, a genuine guy. And that's why, I've always respected him. So for him,
I've opened for him for 8 years,
Right.
legit, like, and even Andrew Dice Clay, who's huge.
Yeah, absolutely.
Jim will still open. He's like the same way. He'll open for Dice because he's loyal, and I'm the same way. Like, I'll take a bullet for Jim. I'm the same way. Like, he's a good dude. He's taken care of me. He took, like, when I was in my worst possible moments of my life, Jim has been good to me. So I repay the favor.
Cool deal, man. I like that. Is there anything else you want to address as far as Brian McCarthy? He's gone off Twitter. I mean, I don't know how this thing can continue. What's next for my show? I just launched this thing, and I happened to do MLC. I got Brian. Brian's Twitter's gone. Is this place a place to hang yourself? I hope not, Chad. I hope you gain a huge gig from being on the Ski Mask Collective program. Give a fella a shout out on Kumia next time you're on there.
I swear to God, I will never delete my Twitter because of this show.
Please, I'll keep this show going, Chad. Any news breaks out with you, we'd love to have you back on. DMs are open. Anything you want to talk about, come on. I'll promote the shit out of it, okay? I don't care. I got nothing going on.
Ski Mask, thanks for doing what you're doing. I think you're doing a great job. It reminds me of the old days of public access. Like, you could be one of those legends, those icons, those punk rock dudes, and you're doing it.
Right.
And the fact that you shut down Brian McCarthy's Twitter is hilarious.
That is so crazy to me, man. Like, I was like,
it was you.
Yeah. Well, first off, I was freaking out at the fact, like, okay, he's had plenty of opportunities to go on a lot of shows to tell his side of the story. Why mine? I just launched this fucking show like 3 weeks ago. Tops. I don't know what I'm doing. It looks like a real studio. I'm at my kitchen table.
You shut it down. It was great.
Fucking shut Brian McCarthy down after all the shit. He's done. He's gone. He is finished. Kevin, relax. No more Brian, all right? Who's next? Who are we going to move to? Oh, I love it. I don't know if any of the fans let me see if I got fan questions. I don't know if oh, shit. I actually just got mentioned on Twitter. It says, is Chad up next? I need to prep some questions. Too fucking late, man. We get right to this. Like I said, constant content, motherfuckers. We'll release a show every day as long as there's drama going on, right?
Ski Mask, when's this coming out?
As soon as I get done with you, I got it ready to go. I'm going to fucking upload this shit. Is that cool with you?
I don't care. It's going to be funny tonight because I'm bored tonight. I like all the interaction. It'll be funny.
Yeah, no, I mean, honestly, I was working my day job today, and I get a lot of calls through I might have to get 2 phones, one for the show, one for my day job, because I set down my phone for like 10 minutes, and I came back, and it was 128 notifications. So I was like, what the fuck?
That's great.
I posted one stand-up clip as without the mask one time. 4 likes. Nobody gives a shit. You put a mask on and do stand-up. It's different down here, man. Texas is weird like that, though. So
I love Texas, dude.
Yeah, man. Book a club. Let me open up for you so I can make a name in the clubs.
I've done. I was a regular at Houston every year. I came down with Kreischer 3 times.
Y'all did a secret group, right?
Secret group. I did with Brody, Jim, and Tripoli. So I'd love to come back. Let's do something.
That'd be a lot of fun, man. And I could hook
You
you up.
open, me middle, and Kevin headline.
That would be a fucking blast, brother.
Let's do it.
All right, man. Let me know. And I also got a lot of hookups in Houston, too. So we could probably – you wouldn't have to fucking pay for a room if the club did that shit for you. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of bitches if you want that.
Yeah, we get secret group. I can do – there's a lot of stuff I can do in Houston. That'd be great.
Sounds a lot of fun, man. Yeah, I'm trying to book some pop-up shows down there. And it'll be a real good time. Let's not do Jokesters 22 in San Antonio, though. You would hate that club. Ask Berg about it.
With Jokesters?
Jokesters 22. It's some comedy club down there. They booked Aaron Berg and Gino. I went down to see him, and it was some club I never heard of. But it's a half comedy club, half dance club. So the whole time Berg's up there like sitting on the stool telling the classic jokes, all you hear is the whole fucking time. It's like, come on, man. You got like drunks just barreling in, and it's dead quiet in the comedy room, of course. And they're like, oh, they just sit down. It's like, you fuckers gonna buy a ticket? You know, Berg called this one guy out, and then he started talking some shit back. That was a pretty good time. But
Berg's a pro. He's been around for a long time. He could deal with that.
Absolutely murder. I'm gonna try to get him to call into the show pretty soon if I can.
Was it Jokesters San Antonio?
Yeah, Jokesters 22.
Pub and Grub.
Yeah,
I'm on their website right now.
Yeah. It's it's a small room. I mean, it would have been great if it wasn't for the fucking dance music. Cause they got like this outside patio, and right next door they got like this upstairs cigar shop. It was a nice area, but man, the dance music while you're trying to tell jokes was just like too much. It's like
terrible.
Yeah.
No, when we did the Texas run with Brody and Tripoli, we did a place in, I don't remember. It was in San Antonio. I don't remember what it was, though.
They got an improv in San Antonio, and they also have I can't remember the fucking. It's a market club, so it's a big room. It's the main. There's two main rooms I think in San Antonio. I can't remember the name of it. I know Houston has an improv, but it's kind of went a little south since Secret Group opened, and it's not a really fun one unless we get booked. And I'll cut this part out, but
we'll put this out to your followers. Let's do a you, me, and Kevin show.
Yeah, everybody. Let's get it going. Chad Zumock middle, Kevin Brennan headline. Of course, I'll open up. I got a good 15. If I need to do more, I can sit down and come up with something. I just deleted Brian P. McCarthy off of Twitter. Crazy.
He deleted himself. He's gone.
It's true. He couldn't take it no more, I think. I don't know. And a lot of people are coming on the Twitter saying that, no, it's suspended. But no, when an account's suspended, you can still go to it, and it says suspended. It ain't popping up.
And make sure all the followers know that Eddie If did all of this.
Eddie If, it's your fault. We're calling you out, an official call out.
Brian would not be a part of our lives if it wasn't for Eddie If. So
that's right. Damn. Brian McCarthy coming to light. He's done. It's gone. No more worrisome, you know.
And I did this on behalf of my good dear friend Kevin Brennan and the listeners, because I fast forward. He saw 10 minutes.
Yeah,
he's going to take the lies. He's just so delusional. He's out of his mind.
I mean, you two guys, I didn't figure we're going to watch the full thing, so I was hoping some of the fans would cut clips before y'all got your hands on it. But boy, did that thing really take off this morning.
But Ski Mask, go watch Roger Clemens' testimony on Congress. It's the exact thing as Brian McCarthy.
Just tons of bullshit.
Just lies, nonsense. And I liked Roger Clemens, but he was lying. He was just lying.
Oh, man. I really need to get something going. So I know, is Kevin ever going to call into my show, you think, man?
I don't know. He told me to do your show.
I know he did. I know what he's trying to get to, what he's doing here. You know, I'm a fan of Kevin. I know exactly
Maybe he's trying to build it up. I don't know. Who knows?
But yeah, of course, man. A lot of people I've only gotten one bad review so far, and some asshole on Twitter with a fake name and about 9 followers. And I can't believe I responded to it, but I'm glad I did. It was a pretty good response, you know?
Well, Ski Mask, let me tell you this. As a guy who dealt with Twitter online heckling for 10 years, don't take it to heart.
No, never. No, I mean, shit makes my day. I told my brother, because there was a funny review in the comment section of the Patreon where, boy, he really took a hot one. And he was like, man, this guy, and I was like, dude, if you don't fucking screenshot that and put it on your personal Facebook and say, all right, this is how my first podcast appearance went. You don't have a funny bone in your body. It's so good when people write shit like that. It's like, dude, it's clout. That's what I don't understand about Barry Ribs. We're like blocking everybody. I don't even know why I brought his name up in this podcast. Jeez.
I've only met Barry Ribs twice. He's always been very pleasant, so I don't like.
He's coming on this program soon. I'm not going to.
There you go.
I'm not going to let the followers know when, but it's very soon. Barry Ribs will be on. So if you're listening to this, DM me your questions that you would like for Mr. Ribs, and if you can't DM me, I don't know, just write the fucking tweet. I'll get to it eventually. Get shit going on.
Kill it.
Whatever. All right, Chad. I hope you call in. Next time it won't be on behalf of Kevin Brennan, and if it is, that's cool too, man. I hope to see you soon.
Ski Mask, sorry I didn't talk for an hour and a half and rambled about like side notes and bullshit. I just told you the truth. Sorry.
No, man. You get right to the point. I like it. I kind of want to try a Brian McCarthy impression. You think I can? You want to ask me a question?
Yeah, go ahead, Ski Mask. Okay, let me ask you. What was it like being on talking shit with Jim Jeffries and Eddie Ift?
Oh, it was crazy. You know, I was actually in the back of Joe DeRosa's taxi ride, and I was checking off earlier that day, and I got the call to go hang out with Eddie Ift and Jim Jeffries. And, man, it was really wild because I've been watching those guys for a while, and I actually had dinner with them like 4 years before